Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again for another review. Tonight we are back with a brand new review of Married at First Sight, Season 13, Episode 5. If you are new here, then welcome. I give lighthearted reviews with a little bit of laughter and a little bit of shade. If you are back for a second or third time, then child, welcome back. Let's get into it if we gonna get into it. Y'all, please do not hesitate to like, comment, and subscribe to my channel if you get anything out of the content or you just want to come on back for the maths mess. Okay, child, let's get into it. Day 3 of marriage. All of the couples are waking up. Bow and Johnny, Jose and Rachel still kissing, stank breath and all, honey. Myrla and Gil talking about her even fighting in her sleep. Child, she complaining and fighting all up and through the sleep. Ugh, can't even have a peaceful slumber next to Myrla. Oh, my goodness. And this is my thing. Jose, why you always got to grab her trachea every time y'all kiss? Honey, you don't have to grab her neck every time y'all kiss. Oh, it just does something to me. Rachel and Jose. He said waking up to his wife, it's been great because they know each other so well, and each and every day it gets better. Honey, it's been 3 days. There's no way you know each other so well. But go and set yourself off. So Rachel said, so we talked about what we know about each other, but let's talk about what's different. He's like, well, I can say this. Okay, I can say this. You like your coffee black. I like a little cream in my coffee, a little coffee with my cream. That's why when I made yours, then I made mine. Jose, honey, she's not talking about your Starbucks order. Dig deeper, okay? She said, okay. Beside from all that, honey, you were trying to brush my teeth. I ain't like it, honey. You were trying to feed me. I don't like that. I'm not a baby. That's where my independence comes in. Jose was like, well, when we took the vows, I said that I wanted to be a provider. Honey, you brushing my teeth provides nothing for me except and a gag reflex. I don't want you brushing my teeth. I'm good. Not I said I was going to be a provider, so I got to brush your teeth and wash your face. What is happening? So then she was like, well, he said, that's my way of showing I care. She said, I'm just conflicted because, I value my independence, but at the same time, I know he's really trying. So then she tells the story about her dad saying, you need to have a plan because a person can flip on you in a minute, honey, leave you high and dry. And will. She said, she's never been in a relationship where the person is so attentive. He said, as a man, I want to provide. Jose, you do not have to keep saying as a man. We know you are a man. Honey, these two are going to have a power struggle. Do y'all hear me? Honey, Jose gives me very much barefoot and pregnant vibes. I'm sorry, honey. She's like, I want to contribute as well. Let me tell you something. She's trying to make sure that she has a safety net. And that is smart. I don't care if you've been married to the man 5 minutes or 50 years. Always make sure you have something for yourself in case things go left. Honey, I just don't trust Jose all the way like that, honey, but that's just me. Moving forward. Johnny and Bao. They both aren't morning people, so they're laying in the bed. They're talking with the body pillow in between, as they should. Because, honey, at the end of the episode, they really should. So they wake up, and Johnny said, there were small animals that came into our room last night. And I woke up because I was trying to protect us, but then I realized that it was just you snoring. Child, I'm done with Johnny, honey. So Bao is creating her own ambient noise again, child. She's snoring and whatnot. She's like, no, honey. I thought she was going to suffocate him for a minute there. I'm like, all right, Johnny, you better quit playing, honey, for you'll lose your life. She said, she's been told that she snores on occasion and she's insecure about it. Well, honey, what occasion is it? Is the occasion your honeymoon? Because it's been every single night. Oh, child, honey, it's normal though, okay? You may want to see an ENT. We have some of the best here in Houston. Moving forward, Johnny said, he's a person that values sleep, so he's going to have a bit of an issue with that. Honey, well, you better get used to it. You better buy some earplugs. I'm just saying. So then they go out to eat breakfast, and Bao tells him, she collects bathing suits. Because he was like, I don't really know how much we should eat because, we're going to the pool. And she's like, well, I collect bathing suits. She said, when she exercised more and she was given the zhuzh of it all, she felt more confident. But she didn't want to show the world her goodies. Her goodies, not her goodies. Shout out to Sierra. So anyway, she said, she feels like it's practical. It's like lingerie at this point. Bow, it's definitely a bathing suit, okay? Bow, let me find out you eating your Wheaties in a 2-piece from PacSun. Girl, I'm not about to play with you. So Johnny said, well, do you walk around in them? She said, yeah, sometimes. Is that weird? Um, Yeah, honey, it's giving very much quarantine. We pretty much wore whatever we wanted to wear during quarantine, honey, wearing ball gowns just to eat breakfast, honey. I mean, do what you're gonna do. But Johnny kept it real. He said, yeah, it is kind of weird. I love me some Johnny, just the right amount of zhuzh, honey. Johnny said, yes, as a matter of fact, it is weird. She's like, well, people wear lingerie. I mean, I just walk around the house in my bathing suits. Okay, girl. Johnny said, I don't know if you've seen my chest. She's like, yeah, I snuck a little peek earlier. Okay, girl, checking out your man, seeing what he working with and whatnot. He's like, I'm a little scrawny. Oh, Johnny, no, you're the perfect size for Bow. Y'all look good together. He's like, I'm lean. She's like, yeah, I like that. He said, he loved the way that she affirmed him because it lets him know that the physical attraction isn't one sided. You know what? I really see Bao getting more comfortable as the days progress. She is definitely trying more. She's becoming more open. Honey, and at least she compliments him back. Because, child, that's the least I can say for some of these couples, okay? She's like, I told the experts that I liked Conan O'Brien. He's like, we're nothing alike. She said, yeah, but he owns his lankiness and his awkwardness. And I like that. So then she goes, he's my hall pass. By the way, I'm just going to let you know now. Now, Bao, honey, you have to go to class to get a hall pass, okay? You got to sex Johnny up missionary first before you get a hall pass. Girl gone. Child, I'm done. He's like, I like Conan so much, so just go for it. She's like, I don't need the hall pass. He's like, no, but can I watch? Bao said, oh, honey, I told y'all about liking a little spicy in the bedroom. Honey, not you want to watch, Johnny. So you're a voyeur that likes vanilla sex. Honey, one of these things are not like the other. Somebody lying, honey, and you ain't fooling me. Moving forward. I like the fact that they were actually able to have a conversation about not only one of her little quirks, but sex in general. She told him about her hall pass and how she wanted to sleep with Conan, and he said he wanted to watch, and honey, she wasn't opposed to it. All right, Bow. Okay, girl. Myrla and Gil. Myrla is back in her recycled flannel PJs, ready to get today's complaints started. Honey, she says she's enjoyed waking up to Gil and she's getting used to it. It's not too shabby, with the exception of the accommodations, honey. Myrla might be all right. She just needs a lesson in humility, I think. I don't know. But child, she got on my nerves all the way up and through this episode, so I'm not sure. I think she likes Gil. She is just used to doing all that whining and complaining, honey. She ain't had a man check her. See, Gil needs to be a little bit more stern. All that joking with her and you like the macaroons, I like the chocolate chip cookies. Say, look, this is what we gonna do here today. You gonna sit down on this bed. You gonna give me some kisses. We gonna get into it as we get into it. I'm the man and you're the woman. No, I'm just kidding. I'm just playing, but really I'm not. I feel like he needs to be a little bit more stern with her. She's used to running over people. Okay. So Gil needs to sit down and use the strong hand and say, listen, Myrla, I don't like all that whining and I don't like all that complaining. Okay. I don't mind you having an opinion of something. But the fact that you fuss and argue and whine and complain and throw tantrums 24 hours out of the day, I'm not going to be able to do it. I don't like it, honey. Now, either get it together or we going to leave it alone. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. Now, I put my own zhuzh on it, but the manly way to say it. Just let her know, honey. I don't want to hear all that whining and hollering and all that. Nobody has time for that, okay? So, Myrla, you need to get it together. She sees the breakfast, right? She's like, ooh, is this it? Honey, it is looking very continental, honey, like the breakfast at the Holiday Inn. I ain't gonna lie to you. Lifetime. Where is the budget? Honey, even Chris from last season got bacon and eggs when he was downstairs having that fake panic attack talking to that ex. Oh my God. So Gil said, what? What is it? She said, there's no protein. Is this big bagel supposed to be breakfast? That tickled me. Because let me tell y'all something, honey. I ain't gonna lie to you. I like to have a full on breakfast, okay? I'm from the South, okay? We like to sit down with the bacon, the eggs, the grits, the toast, the hash browns. Give me something, not this big piece of bread and some fruit on the side. Oh, no, ma'am, honey, that's a snack in between the breakfast and the lunch. Ciao, goodbye. So as she's saying that, she was like, and is this milk? So then she's like, can you try it to see what kind of milk it is? He's like, I wouldn't know. She said, you don't know the difference between regular milk and almond milk? Well, honey, why don't you taste it yourself? How about that? Okay, almond milk has a little bit of intent to it. It's not as white as regular milk. So then she calls out, she's like, I wanted to have frothed almond milk with my breakfast. Girl, they gave you a piece of bread and some fruit. Do you really think They have froth almond milk down there. Girl, goodbye. So then Gil said, my wife is very particular. I'm making a list of what she likes and what she doesn't like, and the don't like list is very big. Honey, I'm sure it is. He said, what do you think about your first day here? She said, you see that little grass out there? He was like, yes, the marsh. She was like, yes, the marsh. Honey, trying to act so sophisticated, don't know the name or nothing, honey. She called macaroons, macaronis, or something, honey. I don't know if it was craft or what it was. She said, I don't think of this as a honeymoon. A honeymoon is a beachside resort, not the senior citizen center in Florida. So listen, this is an unpopular opinion. Myrla, I'm going to have to agree. This setting doesn't scream romantic, honey. No wonder she ain't changed out of those flannel pajamas, okay? But listen to me. Also, you need to live in the moment, okay? His memories, should you choose to continue after decision day, are going to be of you complaining constantly on your honeymoon. Okay, I'm not sure how that's going to go over when you get ready to tell the grandkids how things went. So Gil said, my wife is just set in her way. She has a strong personality and won't change for anybody. But he likes that because it shows he can trust her. She's not fake. Honey, that's a good way to look at it, but Gil, honey, complaining does not make you trustworthy. What I see when I look at Myrla is, it's all about me, 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 me. Forget about you. Shout out to Maya. Honey, she does not care nothing about you. She has not asked you once anything about you. Have you noticed that? You're sitting here surveying her, but has she said, so are you happy? What's going on with you? What do you need? Nothing. Child, talking about you can trust her because she's set in her ways. Honey, ain't nothing cute about being a spoiled brat. He said, on a scale of 1 to 10, how would you rate how happy you are? She said, that's a good question. I'm an 8. She's like, what about you? Come on, say 10. He's like, no, I'm not a 10, honey. Honey, if only you knew what he was thinking. He's far from a 10. Probably leaning more toward a 7. That's just my opinion. She said, I feel like if we were in the middle of the desert, he would be happy. Yes, honey, it's called making the best of it. Girl, grow up. She's like, yeah, I'm a whiner, but I'm happy he's laid back. Hopefully he doesn't explode at some point. Myrla, that is not cute. You sound crazy at your big grown age of 34. And that's a strong 34, honey. That's all I'm going to say on that. He said, so if there was a white beach here, you wouldn't complain about this place? She's like, oh, yeah, I definitely would. She said, you're making me sound like a Debbie Downer. Honey, and is. He said, well, you're not a Karen. Well, honey, I don't know. Because given the right circumstance, she could give me very much. Can I speak to your manager? Honey, I'm just saying. Brett and Ryan. He said he's very happy today is more chill because he learned she didn't like planes and he's trying to let it go. Ryan, it's okay, honey. It happens. Some people have a fear of flying. It's normal. Oh. So Britt said, she feels like $1,000,000 today. And then she said she's excited to go to the beach and she needs him to put some sunscreen on her, right? And she needs his help. So he's like, well, it's going to take more than just me. Why is that, honey? Is Brett a little thick with it? Honey, I didn't get that. Why is it going to take more than just you to put the sunscreen on? I don't know. Maybe they edited something out or something. I missed it. I'm not sure why. She said, she's excited about their first dinner. And so Ryan asked her what was her last first date. And she said it was 2 years ago at the bar. And he made a little joke about it. And he said, he probably shouldn't have taken you to a bar. Well, honey, he's a professional dater. So I'm sure he knew all the right places to take you because she asked what type of date he would have taken her on. And then he gave it the zhuzh that it needs to be gay. So then they're walking down to get ready to go meet the rest of the couples. Brett, honey, what is this little ensemble? It's giving homely. Okay. The boobies are popping, but I don't like that. I'm just saying, honey. So Rachel comes out looking caliente. Okay, Rachel. Of course, Gil got the guns out, but no sign of Myrla in her mouth. All of the couples are meeting up by the pool, right? So they start talking about their spouses, and Rachel says her expectations were more than met. They're through the roof. Okay, Rachel, honey, reel it in, child. You don't know Jose all like that, honey. Jose been Joseing this whole episode. So Gil said, that's funny because Jose had a laundry list, and then they do a little flashback. Johnny and Bao then come out and they join the group. And Jose is like, me and Johnny have a bromance. I hope he was put with the right person. Child, Jose. Child, Jose lit up when he saw Johnny. Do y'all hear me? Jose, reel it in, honey. You got your match. She's sitting right beside you. Child. So they start looking for Zach and Michaela, wondering if they're still together or if it worked out the way it was supposed to work out. Day 3 and 1 full day of the honeymoon. Michaela fills us in on Zach's condition, and we see Zach, and he's telling us that he's feeling really bad. Baby, COVID is really taking its toll on him. So Gil is still down there surveying the couples, honey. I guess this is his job. And he's like, so are there any first kisses? Uh, they pretty much all kissed Gil, honey. You're the only one. So Ryan said, yeah, we had two at the altar. So Jose starts joking, saying, no, we're waiting. Gil started feeling like, yes, I'm not left out. Until he realized he was the last lip standing, honey. Even Bow and Johnny were kissing, child. And we found out that Jose was just playing, honey. They've been kissing every 2 seconds. So Ryan and Brett are standing there talking like in a little interview type thing. And Ryan is like, yeah, they're very affectionate. Good for them. Oh, child. Moving forward. Gil said, divine kiss. Johnny said, can I get a visual? Lord, please, no. I'm sorry, y'all. It's just something about me watching people kiss. I just can't. Oh, child. And then it's like Jose and Rachel, they really be getting into it as they get into it. And I just don't like the zhuzh that it gives. Ugh. So Jose leaned right on in and planted one on Rachel. So Brett said, well, what about you? He said, no, just on the cheeks. Oh, I feel bad for Gil. Not only is she not kissing, he said she was upstairs working on the honeymoon. Honey, if that's the truth. Child, Myrla would have been disgusted with Jose and Rachel. Do y'all hear me? If she saw them kissing, she'd have been like, oh my God, I feel sick. And Myrla, no, she lying, honey. She's sitting up in there in that old folks' room, texting and talking and looking out that window and telling her friends how terrible the accommodations are, honey, and she ain't fooling me. So Brett said, I remember her saying that. Rachel said, yeah, we knew it was going to be a cheek kiss because she said it. Gil said, look, she can be particular. Rachel said, if I was in his shoes, I would feel rejected. Honey, we all would. We're trying to figure out what he's still doing sticking around. So Johnny said, so what do you mean she's particular? He said, like this place. What do y'all think? Johnny said, I like it. Everybody's like, yeah, it's pretty cool. Gil said, not putting words in her mouth, but she said it was an old folks' home. They're like, what? So then he tells them that she throws tantrums when she hasn't eaten or she hasn't gotten enough sleep. And he treats it like she's a toddler. Gil, honey, no. Okay, why would you say all that about your wife in her absence? That wasn't cool. Let me tell you something. As much as Myrla gets on my nerves, I think that was distasteful. And I think it was tacky. Okay, I don't think that you should have said that in that moment. That's just my opinion. And quit talking like y'all been together for years. Well, when she gets cranky, when she doesn't eat or when she doesn't sleep, or we don't even know her yet. Okay, honey, child, when she see this, it's going to be on. Do y'all hear me? On like Donkey Kong. She is going to go off as she should. Honey, stop being passive aggressive and just tell her she's a whining, non-affectionate stick in the mud. Just tell her. Ugh. So Gil proceeds to ask about sex because, honey, Gil wants to make sure that he's not the only one. But you are, honey. You're the only one that's not getting anything at all. So Gil proceeds to ask about sex. They're like, no, it takes more than 3 days. You can't fall in love in 3 days. I think Jose and Rachel lying. Honey, all that kissing and nothing? And she said leave the condoms? Mm-hmm. I guess, child, but go on, set yourself off. Ryan said, but you can get married at first sight. We know that for sure. So Bao said, well, for us, it wasn't exactly at first sight. Everybody's like, what? She's like, yeah, we've known each other for years. Everybody's like, oh my God. So Brett is like, that's not fair. So Johnny told them that they met in college, and then Bao has to tell the story of Johnny ghosting her. Child, Bao gonna make sure that he remembers that he ghosted her, okay? So then they all go to the pool, and Brett is a little bit insecure about her shape in her bathing suit. And she said Ryan has a great bod, so she wants him to think that she looks good in her bathing suit. You look fine, girl. Go on, honey. That's a natural woman's body, given the zhuzh that needs to be given. I don't like that bathing suit, okay? Because it's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing or not giving what's supposed to be gave. But your body, okay, it's everything. Now go on, get in the pool, honey. And if Ryan don't like it, I'm sure somebody else will. Moving forward. Johnny is over there getting sprayed down by a bow. And he's like, my wife has a beautiful body. He's like, yeah, I have to focus because I'm focused on that ass. Now Johnny say he gonna tear that ass up. Johnny say when he get bow, he gonna tear that ass up, okay? I like that they're flirting. Clearly the physical attraction is there. They're starting to get a little bit more accustomed to each other. Yes, for Johnny and Bow, I am still holding out hope. Even though in the end, honey, I'm going to say what I'm going to say about that, and I'm going to speak my speech about that. But I'm happy that they're making a go of it. So Gil, he shows us that he's turned a volleyball into Myrla. He's like, yeah, I tossed it around and threw her in the pool, but all in all, she had a great time. I'm done. Honey, I don't think she would like you not drawing her any hair. And I hope those lashes were individuals, honey. We now all know how Myrla is about her lashes. Moving forward. In the next scene, back at the room, Zach tells us he found out that he tested positive for COVID. Here go Michaela. He's like, Michaela is negative. She's like, I'm so annoyed. He's like, I didn't plan this. Michaela, honey, COVID is pretty serious, honey. You look cute, by the way. But you shouldn't be focused on that. You should be focused on his health instead of being annoyed that he can't hang out. Girl, what is wrong with you? Do you think he wants to spend more time with COVID than he does with you? You're not making any sense. You're acting like a little weirdo. Girl, and y'all are standing too close. You won't be negative for long. Honey, get over. Go in your room and tell us what's going on. And Michaela, you staying here. This is not making any sense to me. Child, he did not intentionally contract COVID. She's like, do you know how many swimsuits I brought for you? Michaela, you sound selfish and childish. Girl, really? He's like, well, mentally, I can't be next to you, honey. I don't know what that meant. I guess, Charlie, probably mean you getting on my nerves, honey. I need to go sit down somewhere. She's like, I didn't come here to do single stuff. Michaela, go away. Girl, the man is sick. She's like, I came here to do things with my husband. He's like, well, I'd rather you do single stuff than to have COVID. So he's considering her feelings and considering how she feels and wants to keep her safe, but not Michaela. Honey, she want to stick beside him. Girl, when you start coughing and can't catch your breath, I'm pretty sure you would have rather done single stuff. It's been 2 days. You'll be fine. So then she goes out on the balcony and she's like, I don't want to leave my husband, but I came here because I wanted to spend the rest of my living days with a man that wants to do it with me. Girl, if he doesn't take care of himself, there will be no living days. Jose and Rachel. They go fishing. He was very pleased at her gesture. On the boat, he told her he was happy she did it. She said, she wanted to keep getting hints so that she knows what he likes. And I like that. If you tell her what you like, then in turn, she'll be able to do things that you like. So I really appreciate the two of them communicating and her actually listening to what he required. Unlike Myrla, honey, miserable Myrla, she actually listened to him and she applied it. I did appreciate that. Child, then they get their Titanic on, fishing style. Honey, I'm bored. I'm glad they were learning each other so they can provide each other's needs. Moving forward. Myrla and Gil step out looking snazzy. You know what? They actually make a handsome couple. I just wish Myrla would get it together. And Myrla, honey, I know you don't do makeup, but you can do something with this stringy, oily hair. Girl, when they sit down, she's like, so what's the tea? I'm like, okay, I like the fact that they sit down and they gossip together as a couple. Okay, you're giving me something, but then you take 1 step forward and 5 steps backwards. So he starts talking about everyone playing tonsil hockey. And he's like, the guys think you haven't kissed me because you don't like me. I don't remember the guy saying that, Gil, but way to get it out of her, okay? She's like, no, they're kissing strangers. He's like, we're married. She said, yes, but you're a stranger. You guys are strangers. He's like, that's your opinion of it. Gil, you didn't tell her about you telling everyone she was high maintenance, or you created a Wilson out of a volleyball and named it Myrla like you were Tom Hanks on Castaway. You didn't tell her that part. He said, I would have kissed you if it were me. She said, I never kissed on the first, second, or third date. Okay, so 3 dates. We on day 3, so it's time to get to kissing. Honey, pucker up. Girl, child, that's probably why you're on Married at First Sight, honey. No kissing and you nag? Oh, no, ma'am, honey. No, ma'am. He said, kissing is big for me. So this is what I'm getting. His love language isn't being met, and honey, it's going to be a problem. He's trying to hint at it, but she ain't picking up what he's putting down. Gil, you have to give it to her straight. Okay, Myrla is the type of person that I don't want to say she needs to be checked, but she needs a strong-willed person like she is. I know the experts thought you being so kind and subdued could really help Myrla get in touch with her sensitive side and realize that she's not as high maintenance and doesn't need all the material things that she thinks she needs. No. Okay? You need to tell Myrla straight up what it is that you need. And if she cannot provide, then on decision day, her and her lashes will be sitting right there alone. Okay? Deuces. So Gil asks her about her serious relationships. She says she's had 4. Then she said, it takes a minute for her to warm up to a person, honey, like a car in the wintertime. She said, she's learned she's very solidified in her way of thinking. Translation. My way or the highway. I said what I said and I ain't changing it. That's basically how she feels. So then she said, she's very touchy. Honey, when is it going to start? And she wants someone to spend time with her. He said, okay, so quality time is very important for you. She said, yes. He said, so do you feel like you've been touchy with me? Honey, absolutely not. And you already know the answer to that. This is what I'm saying about the passive aggressive bullshit. Gil, okay? Say, well, you say you're touchy-feely, but you're not touchy-feely with me. You know, one thing that I respected about Johnny is that he has an open line of communication with Bao. Even though he's nervous about some of the things that he requests or he asks of her, or even some of the things that he asks to get to know her, he is still being open. You skinning and grinning and playing and acting like it doesn't bother you, but then telling the entire crew that she's high maintenance and she doesn't like this place and she's ungrateful. Tell it to her face, child. So she said, I'm not like that on day one. He said, so do you ever see that happening? She says, it's going to take some time. Gil, give it up, honey. She's not budging. So he asked her how she felt love. She said, gifts and this ring, it needs to be changed. Listen, honey, I agree that ring ain't it, but guess what? She would be wearing that band until she made me feel wanted. Honey, you've given him not a leg to stand on, but you want another ring? Girl, get real. He's like, what if I gave you a Cartier bracelet? She's like, oh, okay, tell me more. She really thinks she is Zsa Zsa Gabor. Girl, goodbye. Girl, I'm not about to play with you. She really thinks she is J-Lo, honey. Anywho, so he's talking to J-No. And she's like, okay, tell me a little bit more. He was like, okay, I'm saying compared to a quilt. She's like, what am I, an 85-year-old woman? He said, what if I knitted it myself? Honey, Myrla said, you can sit in that rocking chair and knit because I gave you blue balls if you want to, but you will be sleeping under that quilt alone. Moving forward. They get back to the room for a little dessert. He put a little surprise together for her. She actually liked it. Oh, child, thank God. He said, anytime she's happy about something, that's a win. Honey, that is terrible. That is terrible. So he starts eating this macaroni, as she called it. And he said the cookie was a representation of her, a bougie cookie. I thought that was so good. He was like, as opposed to me, I like a regular schmegular chocolate chip cookie. She said, we have a little playful banter. Me and him, we joke back and forth. And I did kind of see it a little bit. So in this moment, I could see Myrla starting to accept that the two of them are different. But I just hope Gil does not try to always prove himself to her or work to seek her approval. Because that ain't going to work. Child, you're going to come home from the firehouse. You're going to be tired. You've been there for 4 days. Come home, it's Louis V bags all up and through the living room. Can't even get in. And then you can't get no welcome home kiss. Oh, no, ma'am, honey. Rachel and Jose. Michaela FaceTimes Rachel and tells her that Zach has COVID and she has to go back to Houston. So Rachel said, oh, man, because, Michaela is saying that she feels really sad about it. So Rachel was like, I would feel sad, too. I would be trying to climb up there and get back with him. And I hate how y'all trying to get sick for the hell of it. Please quarantine separately if you are negative. This is serious. Child, ugh. So anywho, it's terrible that Zach has COVID, but it's also terrible that Rachel and Michaela think it's okay to try to contract the virus on purpose. So after they hang up, Rachel was like, I feel like if we were separated for that long amount of time, I feel like the connection would fade. Well, honey, if it's that easy for the connection to fade, then it isn't real. Michaela is overwhelmed. Zach is saying he hopes she doesn't resent him for the rest of his life. Oh, honey, it's not your fault. She'll be fine, honey. And if she's not, then that clearly shows you that she's not the woman for you. Ryan and Brett. They go to get a couples massage. Ryan talking about sex all up and through the massage with the masseuse and everything. I'm like, Ryan, can we wait a little bit later, honey? So Brett asked him about them having kids. He said he wants to have them right now. So she starts talking about it. He's like, oh, okay, well, changing gears. Oh, child. Oh, Ryan, honey, you a mess. He wants to know when they gonna get it popping, okay? He don't want to hear nothing else that you talking about. Just let him know when and where he can meet you, because it ain't too late for a date, child. So she wants to take things slow and get to know him a little bit better first. Well, honey, Ryan looks like he can't wait no longer. Johnny and Jose meet up so Johnny can help him plan a special night for Bao. So Jose was like, are you looking for a dress? Because he sees Johnny over there in like the women's section. He's like, that's why I brought you. Honey, yeah, Jose gonna pick the right ensemble. Okay. Johnny said, Jose is the man I'm trying to be. Honey, did I miss something? He said he's usually attracted to girls like Jose. Johnny, honey, I know in your mind that sounded good, but when it came out and the way it came across to me, honey, it sounded real sus. Okay, I'm just saying. So they go over to the men's section. He's like, I only have khakis, honey. We know. And blue shirts. We know. So then he picks up these 2 shirts. He's like, which of these say romance a little later? Johnny, honey, put that blue shirt back. You do not need any more blue shirts. That is your entire closet, khaki pants and blue shirts. Oh, child, the OCD is just screaming right now. He said he's afraid if he opens up to Bao, she may reject him. Honey, I don't think she'll reject you, honey. She saved your text from 90 years ago. You're fine. Myrla and Gil, they're going on a journey. She's like, are we going fishing? He's like, no, that's boring. Well, honey, don't tell Jose or Rachel that. He said, no, we're going to get on jet skis and then we're getting on a seaplane. She's like, I hope it's a smooth ride. Oh my God. Okay. Listen, lady, get on the jet skis, get on the plane and land in the water. You are getting on my nerves. But Gil, what is this little earring you wearing? Oh, child, this episode was all over the place. Honey, oh no, sir, honey, giving very much Mr. T. I pity the fool. And honey, it's very befitting given your circumstances, honey, because I pity you. So then he's like, are you going to get on one or you just going to watch me? She's like, well, he planned it and I'm not happy, but, because motion sickness is miserable, honey, and so are you. And she's like, but I'll just do it just for him. Okay, honey, that's something, I guess. Child, let's just take what we can get. Honey, live a little. It is your honeymoon. This is a time you will never be able to get back. They're not up there 5 minutes. She's like, I'm not a fan of this. This is horrible. Honey, Gil, we look over there, Gil just smiling from ear to ear. He's like, I'm so happy she decided to do this for me. Whole time she complaining. Child, this is a mess. She's like, I want to throw up. I hope. And then she gets off. And she says, I hope he's taking notes for what I will not like. Honey, you don't like nothing. Nothing. Not ever. Nothing. Honey, Gil is a patient man. You can tell he saves lives for a living. He has a very empathetic spirit. But child, I couldn't deal with this woman. Oh my goodness. Johnny and Bao. Johnny tells Bao he had a surprise for her, and then he pulls out this 2XL top that they both can wear. Is that what you and Jose picked out? But child, at least you tried. He forgot to take the price tag off and everything. Oh, Johnny, he nervous. She's like, you paid full price? That's very disappointing. Bao, don't start, honey. Listen, why are these women complaining so much? Bao, don't start that. Johnny, honey, I see you got that blue shirt. Oh, child. Bao, there are no sales at the gift shop, okay? So you're going to be fine. If he paid full price for it, you're going to be okay. So he said that he wanted to tell Bao that he actually does like her. Oh, I love it. So they go out to this nice little setup. Johnny, you did good. And she was very pleased. So they sit down. He said, I would never do this, but with everything I've learned about you, I just want to say I like you. And I would never tell anyone for fear of rejection, but I can really see this working. And he's just looking at her, waiting for her to say something. Bow, honey, pipe up. Speak your speech. Now is the time. He said, you can tell me if you don't. She said, well, what we've built is stronger than what I've ever had. And then he told her, oh, I just feel so much better because, I've been on 100 first dates. Johnny, you could have been the star of the sequel of 50 First Dates, honey. 100 first dates. How y'all trusting 100 strangers on an app? Child, it's hard for me to trust one in person. Not 100 strangers off of a dating app. Oh, I love that Johnny actually opened up and is going at her pace. And honey, I love to see it. So Bao said, I feel bad that he went on 100 first dates, but had he not ghosted me, he could have saved himself. Bao, let it go, honey. These two. Oh my goodness. These two I have hope for though. Okay. Keep the lines of communication open. Keep Bao away from those text messages and anything that reminds her of it. Go to that freaking museum that you were supposed to go to with her a long time ago so Bao can hush and you two can have happily ever after. Moving forward. Rachel and Jose. They go on their date. Okay, Rachel, got the red dress on. I'm loving it. And he asked her about moving with him, right? Rachel said, she's nervous because it'll always be his house and she'll feel pressure to pull her weight and it'll feel like he's maintaining her. Listen, I 100% can relate to this. You never want to go into a situation where the person can pull the rug from up under you. Now, that's just my opinion. I have had terrible experiences with that as well. You always want to make sure that the two of you are going into something together. Now, if he puts her name on the deed, that's something totally different. But outside of that, honey, I totally understand. Rachel, you are going to have to let your guard down just a little bit, though. But something in me just feels like Jose is going to try and dictate everything once this newness wears off. Honey, I don't know. I'm not sold. These two have more issues than they think. He said, I want you to feel like, what's mine is yours and what's yours is mine. Honey, I heard that before, child. So he starts telling her he wants a 2-story house, a pool table upstairs, and all this other kind of stuff. She's like, yeah, but he's like, I want to take care of you. Child, you can do that if you want to. Day 4 of marriage, Brett and Ryan. They go for their standard married at first sight beach dinner, and she asks for his deal breakers. He said, I want babies, 2.75. What's going to go on with the third baby? Is it going to not be a full baby, or what's going to happen? Like, how do you get 2.75 kids? I know you said you wanted 2 boys and a girl. So is the girl not really considered a full human being, or how are we doing it? Give me the math, because it ain't mathing, Ryan. It ain't mathing. Child, Ryan is a mess. He was like, twins would be great. Listen, Ryan, you actually sound just like me. Before I had my son, I actually wanted to go ahead and have twins so I could knock it out, honey, like a 2-for-1. But as God saw fit, I only got one. Moving forward, that's just a side note. So Ryan sounds like he's ordering dinner. Honey, I would like 2 boys and 1 girl. Make sure they're blue-eyed and blonde hair, honey, and please no redheads. So she was like, well, what I discovered is that I want a family. At first I thought, to freeze my eggs and all of this, but now I feel like I want a family. So then he said, the more time I spend with you, the more that I like you. Okay. He's like, I can't wait to see where we are 3 days from now. Okay, I'm not sure why. Oh, but Ryan is opening up. Okay, he's opening up more this episode. He's talking more this episode. This is what I get from Ryan. He's just a laid back guy. He has dry humor. He's the type of guy she just got to work with, honey. Just work with him a little bit. I think he gonna be okay. He likes family. He wants to have kids. He's just dry, honey. As dry as a Popeye's biscuit. But I noticed any couple that has a Ryan in it, they gonna wait to get it popping. They gonna wait for that intimacy if they don't do nothing else. Rachel and Jose. They go outside to have a little tiramisu, and then they discuss getting a dog. Jose starts telling her that she will be a great mother, and Rachel's like, you're gonna be a great dad. Okay, child. Rachel likes that they're having the tough conversations. Back over with Myrla and Gil, she's back in this uniform, her flannel pajamas, that is, and Gil said her nighttime routine takes forever, but thankfully he's patient, honey, in more ways than one. So they started talking about her lash feel. And she's like, do you want me to look like SpongeBob? And he's like, I don't even know what SpongeBob looks like. She doesn't know. You don't know SpongeBob? He has 3 eyelashes. Well, honey, it definitely feels like you're giving very much Krabby Patty, honey, with all that whining. I'm just saying. And I'm sure he knows that character as well. Gil said, another night with no kisses. I never imagined I would be married and not kissing. So this is my thing. Instead of us tell her, okay, that's number 1. And Myrla, you can sleep next to him in those same funky pajamas night after night, but not even a peck? Honey, Gil is a strong man. Day 4 of marriage. Michaela catches us up on her journey back to Houston, and Zach says he misses her. Aw, y'all gonna be fine. Brett and Ryan, they try to get in this hammock, child. I was waiting for that hammock to roll. Baby, if that hammock was... Y'all already know I'm goofy. If that hammock would have flipped over, I would have had to take a small Coca-Cola break. Always Coca-Cola. Honey, I would have had to take a break. So they get into this hammock, and I actually saw Ryan smile for the first time on this trip. I was like, look at Ryan smiling and whatnot. But whose idea was this? Okay, it's giving very much bad idea. Ryan says, they had the intimacy conversation and he's willing to wait, but they are married. Ryan said the clocks are ticking. Okay, they're talking, and he said he's definitely happy with her as a match and how they're trending. Okay, Ryan, honey, you full of surprises. I don't know what's going on with who and what couple is going on with what. Child, I'm just going to take the journey with y'all, okay? Because I'm just not sure. But Ryan, honey, when you said, I like the way this relationship is trending, it made me think of oil and gas prices or the stock market. Child, we know you love your job. Rachel and Jose. Rachel starts talking to Jose about her spending and how, she's not a big saver. She got a credit card just to go to Europe and all this kind of stuff. And she really needs to grow up. I like that she's taking accountability and she knows that there are some things she needs to work on, right? She says she isn't a big saver as he twirls her hair endlessly. Jose, get your hand out of that woman's head, honey. It's annoying me. So she tells him when it comes to groceries, bills, and etc., she wants to do things 50-50. He said, well, would you be happy with me controlling the finances? No. She said, we can have joint accounts and then have our own separate accounts. He said, well, what about joints? And we can pay all the bills from there. And then whatever's left, you can just pull from there. No, sir. I know a lot of people are saying, well, let him take care of all the bills. No, because with you taking care of everything comes control. We need to have our own separate accounts and a joint account. There is nothing wrong with that. Okay, you got a whole whiteboard accounting for every single dime. One false move is a problem, honey. My mama always said, baby, make sure that you protect yourself. Okay, because nothing is promised. And never let your left hand know what your right hand is doing. Johnny and Bow. They're getting ready for bed. He's hoping they can move towards making out. Honey, ain't gonna happen, Captain. They get in bed. She's like, do you need the body pillow? He said, no. Not if you're gonna take its place. So then she scoots a little closer. So she tells him that she has an insecurity about her snoring. He said, it's okay, it's natural. She said, look, I was a camp counselor and I stayed up all night because I didn't want people to hear me snoring. It's just a very sensitive subject. He said, he understands, but it's just a part of you. So it's okay. Child, then Bao started crying. Not crying over the adenoids, girl. Listen, Bao, go ahead and make an appointment to get your tonsils out or have yourself a sleep study to make sure that you don't have sleep apnea, honey, to help you open up your breathing passages and whatnot. Johnny said every time he gets in the groove with Bao, she goes off on a tangent. Bao, you cannot continue to do this. And I understand that it feels like he's picking on you, but he said, if I'm not making fun of you, then that means I don't care about you. Johnny is just a playful guy, but Johnny, just stop calling her kittens and puppies every morning and stop pointing out her snoring. Keep her big purr to yourself, okay? You should have been getting some earplugs at that store when you bought that extra large shirt from. And that was the end of the episode. Then next week, we find out Bao is so functified. Shout out to the brat. Child, not you ain't bathing during the whole pandemic of it all, and y'all know how I feel about germs. See, I knew something wasn't right when they weren't taking them outside clothes off on that bed. Honey, Johnny wants her to wash her lady bits, but Bao says it isn't a priority. Bao, did you not bathe at that summer camp either? Those adenoids are the least of your worries. You do not have to go to those extremes to get him to sleep in the other bed. If you don't want to sleep next to him, just say that. Child, and that was the end of the episode. Y'all tell me what y'all thought down below in the comment section. For some reason, this season is just not giving what needs to be gave. I don't know what it is. I'm trying to pull from what I can get, honey, and give y'all the best of me, but something is missing. Please comment down below and tell me exactly what you thought about this episode. It's just dragging for me. I love you all for watching, and as always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.